Hello, I'm Alex Jordan, and I'm here with Radio Times to talk about the upcoming Golden Joystick Awards and the nominations. I'm joined by Alex Jordan and by Alex Jordan. First of all, thank you, Alex, for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's nice to be here.
And thank you, Alex, for being here.
Yeah, whatever.
So, what are you thinking? What are your Game of the Year favourites for this year?
Oh, I mean, Claire Obscure Expedition 33's got to be right up there for me this year. Come on, man, you kidding me? It's the altars. Douche.
Radio Times does gaming.
I think it was Eurogamer put out an article with the cast, and the headline was Baldur's Gate 3 Sex Noise Specialist leads the way for Dragon Age. Games weren't really on the radar of drama schools. And so they were like, no, you're going to go out there and you're going to be lead man, guy next door, you know. And I was there going, I'm a character actor. And they're going, of course you are. Go out and do the pigeonhole thing. And that's what agents were doing.
I don't know, the free drinks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this guy gets it.
I mean, the Golden Joysticks can be quite a rowdy one.
Radio Times does gaming.
Yes, Radio Times does gaming. My name is Rob Lean. I'm the gaming editor at Radio Times.
And I'm Alex Raisbeck, and I'm the gaming writer at Radio Times.
And we are joined today by another Alex.
Too many Alexes.
It's
Too many.
A rival Alex.
Two Alex, too planty. I don't know, there's plants here.
Greenlit.
Yeah.
Straight away.
But we're here with Alex Jordan, star of The Altars and many other amazing things, to chat to us about the Golden Joysticks, which are coming up on the 20th of November. And the reason it's particularly exciting to have you is we've never had an award nominee with us here in the studio before.
Wow.
Or anyone else, to be fair.
Guilty as charged.
My goodness, I feel pressure now.
Yeah. I mean, what was that like, being nominated for a Golden Joystick?
I mean, it's really, really cool. I think it's very important to say that you don't do the job to get nominated. Do you know what I mean? You don't do it going, I want to do this, and I want to get nominations, and I want to blah, you know, that, first of all, I think is just unhealthy and unrealistic because you have no control over that. And if that's your focus and your goal and ambition in your career is to like win awards, you could just set yourself up for failure. Also, it's kind of just more about taking it one job at a time and enjoying the process and doing it. This said, after 12 years of doing this as my full-time job and over 100 games now,
Wow.
it does feel nice to then have people in the industry go, by the way, we see you over there and we recognize this and well done. That feels really, really cool. I think it's not until more recently that it feels like a lot of actors are being seen for their work in gaming. It has traditionally been something that has kind of, it's been there in awards and stuff, but just by and large, it's been a bit of a sort of afterthought a lot of the time. You've kind of you feel like you're part of the post process rather than the actual game making process. And it feels as though developers are really starting to understand and see the value that good performances can bring and how they can utilize their actors in and outside of the booth. So it feels like, going through this moment with 11-bit and then to get a nomination as well is really, really cool.
Definitely. It must be cool to do it for this project. Because what was it like when, do you remember the first description of the game and the amount of work you must have done on it? Was it like a daunting thing to think about initially?
So first thing is they sent through a whole game Bible, which is wild. Normally everything is so bound under NDAs and you have no idea what's going on. But they went, well, no, we need an actor who can fit a very specific criteria. And if we're going to get that actor, they need to have all of the information. So this was first round audition. They're just like, here's everything about the game, go and read it. And immediately, as an actor, you kind of go, oh my God, I want to be the person to do this. I want to be the one to try and take on this challenge. There's obviously an ego element that comes in because you're going like, this is amazing. I get to play all the characters. But there's also the element of going, I don't think, I've said this in the past and some people have misunderstood it when I've said, I don't think there's been anything like it in gaming before. And people are going, well, that's a bit arrogant. And I'm going, no. I don't mean like, look at this. This is amazing. How unbelievable. I'm saying I just don't think this specific kind of thing has happened. One person playing alternate timeline versions of the same, and having to do like 12 versions of this one character. So immediately go, I want to be that person. The process and the audition, just full of that desire and hunger to do it. Then the final recall was a 4-hour-long workshop where we just found different voices. We found main yarn, we found technician, we found botanist, miner, and I think refiner, maybe. And again, I left that audition. I walked home and I listened to Outro by M83, which is a very thematic, very kind of, emotional kind of bit of music. And I listened to that all the way home on repeat. I have ADD and I attach to like songs, and I'll just listen to a song until I'm no longer getting the dopamine from it. And I went home and I kind of I had a little rooftop area on this flat that I used to live in. I kind of just stood there and just kind of was like, I feel really good about this. I feel really good about this. And then I had to wait 3-4 weeks of radio silence till eventually I found out I got the role. And that excitement lasted for half an hour. And then you get the feeling of, oh no, now I've got to do it. Like now I've got to do it. And then it kind of kicks in. You're like, right, the work has to begin. And then it's the feelings of, you go from auditioning and believing you're the right person to then suddenly going, am I the right person? Am I the right person? Because I know that there's a lot of other actors out there who would have done a great job at this. I know a lot of people personally who I'm like, they would have been great at this. And I'm like, if I don't do a job that I'm happy with, I'm going to feel like I've let them down as well, which is weird.
I realised I should have done this before that question, but how would you say someone's tuned into this and this is the first they've heard of the Alters? How would you describe it? Because it's, like I say, quite an unusual brief for yourself.
Yes. One man trapped on an alien planet who has to keep himself alive by outrunning the sun long enough to get himself home. And in order to do that, has to create multiple different versions of himself who have the required skills to keep the base moving and keep it operational and keep everyone alive. But in doing that, it's about creating a version of yourself that is from an alternate timeline that split at a certain point in your life and went on to have a totally different life from you, and therefore has fundamentally changed their worldview or their kind of outlook on life. So while you're all trying to get on and keep the base moving, you're also wrestling with your own questions about what if you had done things in your life differently, and then versions of yourself questioning your life choices and sort of being at a bit of a loggerheads with them.
Awesome. How many yarns are there in the end?
I think there's 12. There's 12 yarns. I think it's 11, but then there is a 12th, which I don't want to spoil. But there is a 12th you can get in a certain playthrough, and yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of them.
Obviously, there's like, when you're making a game normally, everyone's doing each individual role alongside each other. With you obviously having to do all of them, how long did it take to record everything for every yarn?
We did. It was over, this number is very pleasing, and I know this is the definite number we got over 420 hours. And we are doing DLC, so there's going to be more. But yeah, it was about 420 hours of me recording an Alters side of a conversation and doing maybe 2 or 3 scenes of their side of conversations, and then going back to the top of those scenes and doing yarn, like the main yarn, his side of it. It's weird because the number of times you actually record in a booth alongside someone else is barely ever. You record your stuff and then you leave the booth and they come in and they record their stuff. So it was weird to be progressing through scenes with both sides of the story, but, being party to both sides of it being recorded and it feeling like it was all moving forward rather than kind of sometimes a scene feeling a bit abstract because you throw your lines out there and then maybe before the game is released, you'll go back in to do some changes, some pickups, some alts. And maybe you'll kind of hear some of that, but you really, by and large, don't know the full shape of that scene until the game is released. It was weird to be in possession of all of the information by the time the game came out and just go, I know exactly what this scene is going to look like and this game is going to look like. Yeah.
They loop in your earlier takes so you can react to them. That must be surreal.
Yeah. So if we do the alters side before Jan was recorded, Damien, who was the performance director on it, Damien Goodwin, who is such an amazing director, by the way. I have to give so much credit for whatever performances are put down in the game. He really helped steer that ship, along with Kasia and Magda, who were two writers on the game. So Damien would read in, and then we would go back to the beginning and then take all of the selects from the alters side, and then I would come in as Jan, and I would hear myself back. So yeah, when I say knowing the full shape of the conversations by the time the game came out, knew it all.
Was it hard to keep track of which Jan was which?
Honestly, no. I thought maybe it would be, but because we took the approach of essentially taking creative license to allow alters to have different regional accents in a way that they realistically probably wouldn't have, which I know some people have been saying, why is that alter from that, got that accent and blah, blah, blah. And we're going, well, what you have to understand is it's a quantum computer that is manufacturing these personalities. Are they drawn from an alternate timeline? We don't know. Are they just false memories and it's just purely, made up by this computer? We don't know. So there is some freedom to kind of play around with it. And what I think we agreed upon very early was quite important was how valuable the voice and accents within that can be to giving you a shortcut to a sense of someone's personality. Certain accents give across a certain vibe. We go, the Northeast guy is going to kind of be maybe a bit more streetwise, and the guy with the Southern drawl is going to be more so you can play around with these accents in a way that it gives a shorthand to their character. So already there was a way of differentiating them like that. And then also, when you're working so closely on it, and so the analogy I use is with a fine paintbrush, real close up to the canvas, you're working in such great close detail that it's quite easy to feel like you can split them apart and kind of put them in their own little box. Yeah.
What was it like seeing the game come out and see the reaction to it when, more so on any other project, you are the face of the game? I know you've played lead characters before, but to be all the characters, it must be mad to see it come out. Yeah.
I mean, it's a really bizarre one, right? Because you see reviews come out and they mention the performance, and I'm like, that is really, really cool. But what I also noticed then is how often games also come out and the game director's name is never mentioned in there, right? So I'm reading these reviews which are saying really nice things about my performance, and all the while there's a conscious bit in the back of my brain going, but what about Tomek? Wait, what about Kasia and Magda, the writers? So it was really bizarre because I've never had this many direct references to my performance in reviews of a game before, right? It mainly served to really highlight to me how often game devs just go unpraised when a game comes out. We're very quick and easy to when something bad happens and we go, oh, the bad thing and blah, 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 and we kind of highlight that. But when the good thing happens, I think it's also so important to really go, and we need to pinpoint this person and highlight this person to say they did a really good job. So yeah, it felt really, really cool, but it also made me very self-aware of that and how I was how are the reviews being perceived and read over in Warsaw because they're going to be happy with them. But I'm also like, I'm seeing myself mentioned, and I'm wanting to see some other people mentioned more. So yeah, but it was cool. It was cool. Yeah.
We were saying earlier there's like a bigger game dev scene in Poland than we realised.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's honestly crazy. Like, I mean, big, companies got 11-bit, there's Techland, there's CD Projekt. Do you know what I mean? It's like Awakened Realms have just come through with Tainted Grail, was their like first game. And then I was chatting with someone, I've just literally come off the back of a stag do, and someone there was like, oh yeah, I've got a Polish friend whose dad owns a dev company, and he was like, it's wild. It's how many companies are popping up over there now, and they've got the their awards is like, when you look at it, you go, yeah, there's some fierce competition out there for their own like inter-country awards ceremony. I think it's the Golden Dragons. I think it is, and they have all of these amazing awards that I've seen a few of at both 11-bit and at CDPR's offices, which is a little dragon egg with a kind of tail hatching out of it. It's like really, really cool.
Cooler than a joystick.
I'm not gonna lie. As awards go, it's a very cool looking award.
I did think they've missed an opportunity in the joystick. I had to double check the list of nominees because it would have been funny to put you for lead performer and supporting.
There
performer.
was. I've seen a lot of people saying like, yeah, just literally just put it into supporting and lead. It would have been funny, but it would have been unfair.
Is it like, because like they are, I need to look into the technicalities of like which performance is the one you're nominated for, or is it kind of all of them as one big thing?
Yeah, I think it is all one big thing, because I guess at the end of the day, they are all one human still, technically, and they all come from the same point.
Quite existential for an award show.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. In fact, I'm definitely sure it is because I think on the website or on the nomination, there's something on their socials. I can't remember where it was. It was like Jan Dolsky, and then in parentheses after all. Something like that. Or no, that was it. I think I was put forward for BAFTA. And I'm a member, so I've got the games to download and and go on and see. And it was on there. It was like on the round of voting. It was like Jan Dolsky all.
Awesome. And obviously, the best lead performer is the category. What's it like, kind of seeing yourself alongside all these other names?
Oh, unreal! I mean, I met Troy for the first time the other day, and I'm a gamer. I've grown up gaming, and I massively respect, the performances that Troy has given. And so to walk in and then be chatting to Troy, and he's like, hey man, it's great. Like, how many versions do you play? He's talking about the game and he's asking questions. I'm there going, this is wild. This is someone who I have like respected for so long, who's like aware of my work and aware of that stuff. And that feels really cool. Feels really cool, really validating. And then also to be nominated alongside friends. Like Jen English is a wonderful human being, but just unreal performer. Such beautiful work. I'm currently playing Expedition 33. Genuinely such brilliant work. And then Erica and I both played Rook in Dragon Age, and we shared a role together. So now we're both nominated together for a separate project. Feels really, really cool as well. And we've been texting about it all, and I'm like, planning and organizing for Erica coming over here and stuff that we're going to do. And it feels really, really cool. I think it's also like to have other people that I know and respect who have been nominated in other years as well, to then be like, hey man, that's so cool that you're nominated as well this year. It feels validating because I think the whole, again, as I say, like I've done a lot of games, and yet the what's the word? Imposter syndrome. The imposter syndrome never truly leaves you. And I have people come up to me and say like, are you ever going to do like one of those like actors masterclass things of like how to do games and blah blah blah. And I see people doing these masterclasses who have done 10 games, and they're doing these masterclasses, and I'm there going, still having done all these ones, going, I don't feel like I'm a master. Do you know what I mean? I don't feel like I'm someone to stand and tell people how to do it.
It's just 12 rolls.
Do
Do that.
So like I'm there going like, yeah, I don't fit. So you're kind of always doubting and questioning yourself. So then to have people that you really respect come up to you and go, hey, congrats and well done, and to kind of tell you that they think it's, to validate it as well and tell you they think it's earned is really, really cool. Yeah.
Awesome. You mentioned Erica and yourself sharing the role of Rook with a few others as well. Does that kind of bind you together, the fact that you've kind of played the same character, or is it like you kind of, because I would have thought like completely separate, doesn't mean that they're friends or anything, but it's cool that it sounds like it does.
So I actually very heavily instigated getting us all together. There is an actor over in LA called Jeff Berg. He was the first person brought in to play Rook. And I think he'd been on it for about a year or so. And then Erica was brought in. And when you have a role, I guess, and then someone's brought in, it could very easily, you could be like, oh, this kind of sucks because I felt like, this was my role that I got to do my thing with. So to then share it with someone, but he didn't have that. He was just like, to Erica, who's like, come on in. And then Bryony and I were brought in to do the British versions much later on, sort of a year before the game came out. And at no point was there any, like he would send messages to us via the production team to be like, hey guys, really cool to have you on, to be part of the game. He was so open and welcoming that immediately I was like, okay, well, I got to meet this guy. And I go over to Summer Game Fest whenever I can. And I was like, right, I'm going to be in LA. I'm going to organize meeting up with Jeff. Right, so let's organize meeting up with Erica. And then I convinced Bryony to fly out to Summer Game Fest. And Bryony was like, I don't know. It's a bit of an expensive trip to just go and do. And I was like, right, so let's get you sorted with you're coming to do this and you're going to do this work thing and we'll set you up with a meeting to do that. So then it's like, okay, it's a work trip. Now, you are out there for a specific reason and it's to work. So I managed to just like corral everyone together, and then we got John and Corinne, who were producer and game director. We got them in, and we all went for dinner, and we just sort of like enjoyed being able to spend time together and go, "This is really cool." We all shared this role. We're all doing our own different, unique thing with the role, but this is a kind of a bonding thing, and there is a kind of a, it's nice to have a feeling of community around it. And when the game comes out, we kind of feel like we can share in the moment rather than feeling kind of separated and like alien from one another. So yeah, I was very keen to make it like a thing. And we've got a WhatsApp group called the Rookery.
Nice.
And at the moment, I'm currently trying to get the Veilguard cast together for conventions, but also Dragon Age at like wider Dragon Age. So Ali Hillis, who's done a lot of amazing work in games, we were chatting. Not this weekend gone, but the one before, basically just like saying, yeah, we need to get the Dragon Age crew together and do some conventions. So I've now got a group with loads of the Dragon Age cast at like wider at large to kind of bring us all together and try and get us to do a few things in one place and kind of meet each other for the first time properly.
I need someone like you in my life who's going to instigate. This should be a group that gets together and we should do this thing. Like everyone needs someone like that to
100%, 100%, yeah.
So you did a musical number in The Alters. What was that like?
Yes. So in the audition, I totally forgot about this. In the audition, we did the 4-hour workshop, and then right at the end, they went, oh, and if there was any little like singing bits in there, you'd be fine with that, right? And I was like, yeah, cool, sure. Cut to about a year and a half later, and we're in the booth, and they go, oh, and we're going to be doing this like on a Monday, and they go, we're going to be doing the song on Wednesday. The song? Yeah, we're going to be doing the song. Okay, how big are we talking? Oh, like the musical number. Sorry, the musical number? Yeah, like the full song with all the alters singing together. So I had about 48 hours notice for them to then send through the instrumentals, send through the lyrics. And I had to figure out, first of all, you're figuring out, okay, is each alter good at singing? Are they naturally talented at it? Secondly, what is their relationship to it? Do they enjoy it? Thirdly, it's how eager are they to get involved in this moment? You figure out all these things. Like the scientist starts off super not interested in getting involved. This is far too kind of emotionally driven for him. He comes from a place of pure logic and reasoning. But then as the song goes on, he kind of slips out of this spoken word kind of version of the song into singing. And actually, of all of them, turns out he's probably got one of the better voices. But then you have the refiner who throws himself in from the very beginning. Terrible voice. The guy that gets up first on the karaoke machine and everyone's going, oh, God, no, please, no. So, yeah, it was crazy, like how, you think, you sing a song and you have to do the song right. And then you go in, but now you've got to do it 11, or not 11, because at the point you can't get all the olds to that point, but however many different ways at that point. And I'm not going to lie, it was daunting. It was very, very daunting. I'm someone who doesn't have the greatest confidence in my singing voice. I had an experience when I was in junior school. I think I was year 3 or 4, really young, right? And they did like choir audition things, but kind of everyone was required to go and do these auditions. I don't know why it was like, you just got to go and do it. And I must have been like 7, 8. And the teacher at the end of it went, well, you can't sing and you'll never be able to sing like in your life kind of thing. To which I'm there just going absolutely mortified and just broke any confidence and any trust and faith I have in my ability to sing. And then I went to drama school, and unfortunately, I mean, it's totally seems different now, but at the time, the person who was in charge of the singing element of the course didn't really teach any singing at all. They just kind of guided you. Like, it took us until 3rd year to be told what our range was. Do you know what I mean? But that's because we requested it. She unfortunately just wasn't a great teacher. And so I came out of drama school frustrated, going, that was the one thing when I went to drama school that I was like, great, I'm going to be able to improve this. And it was the one I felt like I had the least improvement in. So going into this song, I was really, really nervous. And genuinely, when I was doing it, I was nervous. And then I was also questioning, going, well, actually, for some of them, I am actively singing bad, but are people going to understand that as me intentionally singing bad as a character choice, or are they just going to think, oh, I really just fluffed it and bombed in that moment? So it's like when you are asked to deliver a line and the line has to be intentionally delivered bad, are people going to think that's a bad performance, or are they going to understand the nuance of what you were trying to do? So I was super, super nervous. And then the game came out and I got to see people's reactions to it. And people loved it. They really enjoyed it. And I'm watching live streams and people are going, oh, this is a bit corny at first. And then by the end of the song, they're like, this is genuinely one of my favorite moments in recent gaming that I've had, And that was really, really cool. And to go on I went and left a comment on the day they put the video up on YouTube of the song as it's like standalone. It's called What If. It's by Piotr Musial, who does a lot of amazing work on games, by the way, like the Witcher expansions and, just unreal work. And they put it up, our stuff on there. And I put a comment and I was like, basically said, hey guys, I just want to say, to the community, thank you very much for kind of, showing the love for this song, because I was quite nervous about it. And it's not been, one of my strongest things I feel most comfortable in. And it's been really nice to see the reaction. And then the replies to that comment have been absolutely lovely. And, people just saying, oh man, it's good. You did a good job. And it's felt really, really nice. I don't feel like I've necessarily come out the other side like a better singer. But I feel like I have more confidence now in going, all right, well, I know how to play a character when I sing and do that. I think if ever there comes a point in the future where I'm asked to do something like this again, I'll step into it that next time going, okay, I've got a bit more faith in myself in this. And I feel like I can go into this with a bit more comfort. Yeah.
Is there a part of you when you're an actor, you have to kind of be able to go up to the mic and switch off being nervous or being uncomfortable about
100%. 100%. The number of times you're asked to do stuff in the booth where you're going, this is super embarrassing, and you just have to get rid of that straight away. It happens all the time.
I mean, such as, for example, if you're asked to do a load of Baldur's Gate 3 sex
I knew
noises.
you were going to ask that. I knew you were going to bring that up.
Purely hypothetical,
When I was announced in Dragon Age, I think it was Eurogamer, put out an article with the cast, and the headline was Baldur's Gate 3 sex noise specialist leads the way for Dragon Age. And I literally took that as a screenshot and put out a socials post that said, "You're brought in to do sex noises on a game one time," and it got like 37,000 likes or whatever it was. Ridiculous. Yeah, I mean that was yeah. So for anyone who's unsure what this means, I was brought into Baldur's Gate 3 solely for the purpose of making sex noises. And I have had to look Neil in the eyes since, because Neil was the only one where they were like, listen, you can make sounds and it will fit pretty much all the characters except one who has a very unique sound to the voice. And of course, it's Astarion. He's got that sort of very sort of like, it's kind of like, it's like soft, nice, soft and rounded in the throat. And so I had to listen to Astarion and try and figure out what Neil would sound like if he made those noises. And then that's a deeply disturbing thing to then have to look him in the eyes like a couple of weeks later and be like, hey man, how you doing?
That's such a weird assignment of we just need to do it for all of the characters.
Yep.
We can't get them to do it. We need you to.
But the producer was like, who's a good friend of mine, sent me a message saying, I'm so sorry. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I've just sent you through the script. And I opened it up and it wasn't a script. It was just various different, open mouth, medium size, stuff like that. And I just replied, oh God. And she just replied, I'm so sorry. I thought this was going to be normal.
There's got to be an element, though, of they chose you for that. So that clearly they think something about you. Whether that's good or bad, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go too deep into understanding that.
We've got just the guy.
Yeah.
How did Neil take it when you did meet him?
We've never actually directly talked about it. We've never addressed it. Never, ever addressed it. Maybe at some point. Maybe at some point.
Engineer that situation somehow.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. I wonder if we ever will talk about it.
So obviously the Golden Joysticks has many other categories. Mm-hmm. One which is of interest to us this year is the best game adaptation. So TV shows and movies that are made of films. We're kind of partnering up on that award. Have you got any personal faves among that kind of world?
So run through this. Cause I'm just trying. I don't want to say things that I'm because Arcane season 2.
Yeah, that's in there.
That's got to be in there. And then Fallout, was that last year's?
Yeah, Fallout was last year's.
That was last year's.
And then I assume it will be in next year's.
So what else do we have in there at the moment?
We've got Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
We've got Arcane season 2.
Yeah.
We've got The Last of Us season 2.
Yeah.
A Minecraft movie. Which that's a mad double bill. Last of Us into Minecraft.
Yeah.
Secret Level, the anthology.
Yes.
show,
Yeah.
And Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Okay, so first of all, Secret Level, phenomenal. Genuinely, I think obviously some are stronger than others. As a huge Warhammer fan, that whole Space Marine section with Titus and going into the whole sort of this child with no fear, it's so cool. It's visually unreal, and it really taps into the core of an existing character, but also what that means for. It's a really cool way of getting people outside of the fandom to understand very quickly what a Space Marine is about. So that's really, really cool. I really like the D&D episode of that. Thought that was excellent. Arnold Schwarzenegger's one is funny. I think it's great. I think it's really, really cool. But I also think when you have multiple separate standalone things, that's quite different from a show that has a narrative that it's telling from start to end across multiple episodes. I think Arcane is the most visually stunning thing I've ever seen in my life. The performances in that are just insane. Ella Purnell, unreal. I will say I'm not even a League of Legends guy. I'm a huge Arcane guy. I adore it. I bought the vinyl. I listen to it regularly. I listen to the soundtrack for both seasons all the time. Last of Us, again, really, really good. I thought they did the astronaut helmet scene really, really well, and they did it justice, and it was really well done. I think personally for me, it still has to be Arcane. I just don't think I've ever seen anything on screen like it. Seen a lot of animation, and yet somehow to come out the other side and feel like I'm witnessing something that feels unique and stand out. Yeah, you kind of got to respect that. So I think it's got to be Arcane for me.
Fair.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you have like ones like The Last of Us, which are more like kind of, I don't want to say slavish, but they're adapting this thing kind of beat by beat. We're going to go through the game. We'll probably add in some really good stuff along the way. And then you have ones like Arcane or like Fallout, where it's like, we're going to kind of take the lore, take the world, and we're going to kind of find a story in it rather than retell one. I find that an interesting kind of this or that.
I will say, I think season 1 of Last of Us, I think it's tough to say for sure. I think it's up there. The Nick Offerman episode. Is it episode 3?
Yeah.
I think it is. I don't know if you can ever truly say it might be my favorite episode of television ever. It's up there with a specific boat scene in Succession, a boat episode in Succession. I don't want to go and give away too many spoilers about that. And a couple of episodes in particularly season 1 of Arcane as genuinely I think my favorite. Like, it's beautiful, and I think that's a really interesting and brilliant way of delivering something that is new to a game adaptation that doesn't feel like you are changing something about the adaptation. You are simply providing something new to it and giving a greater depth to what is essentially just a moment where we, in the game, you know of these characters, but like to suddenly go, we're going to go all in and give you something that when you go back and play the game will fundamentally change the way you approach that moment in the game now. That's really special. That's really special. So like, it would be hard for me, I think, if this was last year, to be weighing up between The Last of Us and Arcane, because I love the idea of fundamentally going back. It's like Andor and Rogue One. You immediately watch Rogue One after Andor, and your enjoyment of certain moments is fundamentally improved by what Andor did, and I think that's really cool and special. I love seeing moments like that.
And does the fact that you were in Andor change does that change your enjoyment of Star Wars on a whole?
Listen, I gotta say, like, Andor it's like, if I'm talking about like my favorite shows ever, Andor is up there with Succession, and it's up there with Arcane, and Breaking Bad. I was a huge fan of Andor going into filming season 2, and I got to go and spend a good 2 weeks. 2.5, I think it was like maybe 3 weeks on shooting this thing. And it was wild. It was so cool. I honestly think it might be my favorite bit of Star Wars media now.
Because you're in it.
Because I'm in it. Solely because I'm in it. I got that small role in Andor season 2 the same week that I was cast as Jan Dolsky in The Alters.
Wow.
So that was like a wild week for me. I remember getting the call from my screen agent, and I was on the phone. I was saying, oh, by the way, I've also just landed this thing over here. So I think things are about to get kind of a little bit busy for a while. It was, and now, I mean, there's like so many opportunities that are kind of popping up and things I'm talking with people about, and it all feels like that week was that moment when, it kind of went right. Several little things were set in motion, and things that I could never have foreseen at the time. And it all came from that week, that sort of Andor and Alters week, yeah.
I didn't realise they were the same week.
That's it's cool. It was really cool.
What's it like kind of, being among the people who have kind of crossed the streams? You've worked in TV, you've worked in games, you've worked in all sorts of other things. How do you kind of see them being different jobs or the same job? Or what?
I honestly, I love stage and I love screen, but gaming for me is my favorite because, first of all, it's the most immersive form of media, I think. But also, I think I've always been a character actor. And when I was leaving drama school, you're very much trained to be like, right, you're going to go out there and you're going to play this kind of role. And this is your casting and this is your casting. And especially in like 2013, when I left drama school, games weren't really on the radar of drama schools. And so they were like, no, you're going to go out there and you're going to be lead man, guy next door, you know. And I was there going, I'm a character actor. And they're going, of course you are. Go out and do the pigeonhole thing. And that's what agents were doing. Gaming has allowed me to play so many characters that I would never have the opportunity of playing if my face was involved. Mr. Hands in Cyberpunk is in his like 50s, you know, arguably like late 50s, potentially even argue early 60s. I'd never get that role if my face was involved. Gaming has become, like, I think absolutely hands down my favorite, just because of the opportunities it's given me to get to show that I'm a character actor and do some cool things. Yeah.
Awesome. And as a big gamer yourself, have you got a horse in the race of, best games of this year, other than Alters?
Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is something pretty special. I stream as well. I stream on Twitch, and I've been having to, I think I'm going to have to start like pulling back a little bit on how much I stream. But also, streaming fundamentally alters your enjoyment of a game, because you are focusing on the game, but you're also focusing on chat and interacting. And you've got like 20 different conversations going on with 20 different people at any one time, and you've got to keep a kind of a track on those conversations. And then you're also aware that you're being observed. Expedition 33 was a game where I went, I'm not going to stream this. I'm just going to play this myself, because I feel like, and also Jen, who was the writer on it, gave me, not Jen English. This is Jen, who was the writer, Jennifer Svedberg Yen, who gave me the code for it. And so I was like, right, well, I need to, you've given me the code for this. I need to, give it my proper focus and attention. So I have defeated the Axons, and I've got the Paintress coming up. And I have theories. Now, I don't want either of you to give away, okay? But my theory at this point in the game going forward is none of it is real, and it's all in Mael's head. It's all some sort of creation of hers, and that she is the Paintress, she is the girl, she is everyone, and this is a trauma response, and she has created everything, and none of them are actually technically real. They're all creations of her, like, trauma response. But no giveaways or anything.
I'm not saying anything.
That's my theory. I honestly, absolutely adore that. I'm waiting I want to play again off stream. I'm going to start Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I've been waiting because I know that's a beast in terms of like the time you've got to put into it. And I don't have a lot of time at the moment. The last time I went on a holiday was July 2024. And the next time I'm going to be able to take a holiday is May 2026. So like
for GTA.
Yeah. So like I'm trying to find time to play as many games as I can, but God, it's hard. So let's go through what is on the list this year for best game.
Yeah, well, I was going to throw to other Alex, because when Claire Obscure came out and your review was so glowing, I was like, nailed on Game of the Year already. But there has been a few others since then that have challenged it.
Oh my God. Yeah, when that came out and I reviewed it, I genuinely thought like there's no possible way that anything can compete with this. And it's just unbelievable.
But that's what everyone thought about like Blueprints. They were like, well, surely nothing can beat Blueprints. And then
KCD2 as well.
Yeah. And then like Expedition 33 came out. And then, and then, I mean, Hollow Knight, Silksong, and these games start popping up. And what else is on the list this year? So it's Silksong,
Expedition 33,
KD,
KCD, Death Stranding 2,
yep,
Hades 2,
yep,
lots of 2s.
Yeah, Hades 2, yeah.
Borderlands 4, you were quite
Borderlands
big on
4,
well.
I think is great. People, I just want to say I didn't have any of the performance issues that everyone else did. There's just, and then.
Shout out to Silent Hill, because Ben's
Silent Hill. Hello, Ben.
Wearing the shirt over there.
Yeah, I mean, looking at, if you go back like a year and you look at some of the games that were coming out this year, if you had told me a year ago that Doom the Dark Ages probably wouldn't be in the conversation, not because it's not a good game, because it's a great game, but just because there are so many games that are so phenomenal that people aren't really talking about it. And Donkey Kong as well, that's a huge one.
Yeah.
It's just, and like, it's absolutely unreal. And every now and again you see those people who are like, oh, gaming is just, it's not the same as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like, that's because it's so much better. There's so much stuff.
So much better. Also, I think off the back of a couple of years of kind of going, yeah, there's some good stuff, but like this year has been unreal. Like, it is wild. Like, I mean, I obviously I have a horse in the race, a dog in the fight with the alters, but I genuinely think like that's a game that did something that I don't think I've seen before in a game. Like, just in terms of visually and stylistically and narratively, I'm going, it's cool. We have these moments where these games are releasing and we're going, that feels unique, which is wild when we're in a time where there are so many games every year now. You look back on, mid-noughties, early noughties, and you're going, yeah, of course certain games stand out because there weren't that many compared to now. The number of game studios, it is wild. It's absolutely wild. I remember looking up like the studios in Malmo. There's like 18 studios in Malmo alone. Like, what? That's crazy. So this year, it feels like we've seen a lot of like, even just Expedition 33 just going, cool, what if we had a parry mechanic? And suddenly everyone goes, why do we never have a parry mechanic? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. That's like, it's a really, really cool year.
That's given me an idea. We should like do Alex's a big parry. He loves his parries.
If they put parry in a game, that's it. I'm sold. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah. But that should be like a category, like best parries.
Best parries. Oh my god, how do you even choose?
I like what's the best. I love stealthing in games. If I can stealth, I will stealth. I think Dishonored might be my like all-time favorite, game. Dishonored 1. Dishonored 2, great. In fact, I'm currently on my Steam Deck trying to do a ghost run on Dishonored. No kill, no detection. It's hard. Yeah, top stealth, top 5 all-time stealth. I'd love to see that. Like, what your opinions are on that.
I'll have to think about it. Or maybe you should be doing it.
Awesome. And obviously it's going to be a lovely glitzy night. Alex is going to be our man on the ground there on the evening.
Yes, indeed.
Either of you, anyone in particular you guys are looking forward to rubbing shoulders with? Anyone you're hoping it will be there that you can bump into?
I don't know, the free drinks.
Oh yeah, this guy gets it.
I mean, the Golden Joysticks can be quite a rowdy one. Like, of like all of the like major awards, it seems like the one which kind of can get most loose and like most chaotic. Yeah. I went last year, and it was a lot of fun. Ben Starr, who's a dear friend of mine, there came a moment where we were like, he was given his own little room to prepare and stuff because he was hosting it. There came a moment where we were like, should we just get a bottle of bubbly and something, just go and sit in your room for a little bit because this is like crazy. It was like, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Nice. Well, that date again, it's the 20th of November. You can tune in on YouTube from 4 p.m. A bit of an early start.
I know it is.
Yeah.
And this is part of the beauty and the problem is that it starts so early that everyone starts drinking, and then you're there like by the time the awards are finished, you're going, still got another like 4 or 5 hours to go. It gets messy.
It does. Well, lots for you guys to look forward to.
Yeah.
And yeah, tune in. And best of luck to you. And thanks so much for coming and chatting to us about it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
No, it's been a pleasure. We're just doing awkward wave.
Radio Times does gaming.
Thank you for listening to the Radio Times Gaming Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the pod and share it with a friend, won't you? Please. We'll see you next time.